My name is Lindy Bunch, and I'm the priest here at Trinity+St. Peter's Episcopal Church in San Francisco.
I mean, we're one of the few mainstream denominations who have actually affirmed the place of queer folk in the church, that they have access to all of the sacraments, that they are allowed to become involved in any of the orders of ministry, to be ordained as a deacon or a priest. We finally have openly gay bishops. We just, in the last few years, elected our first openly lesbian bishop. I think the church still has a lot of work to do around the issue of human sexuality and around the issue of queer folk, around the issue of trans folk in particular. Although we have passed legislation much more quickly and much more comprehensively to affirm the place of trans people in the church, including in the ordination process. But I think that in the absence of the church's blessing for so long, LGBT folk created different models of relationship. They created different ways of being in partnered relationships with one another, all of which are not necessarily conformative, right, to the standards of marriage that the church upholds, the types of relationships that the church upholds as normative for Christian people. I think that's a dialogue that needs to be had.
I think that's a really good point, and it reminds me of a lot of our dialogue around racism in the church as well, that I think we as an Episcopal Church have a pattern of saying, yes, we would love to have you as long as you act like us.
Act like us.
You can look different, but we need you to act the same.
The same.
And so I think part of our work as a church is saying, do we really mean all are welcome? Are they welcome as they are, or are they welcome as we are? I've been reading Willie James Jennings' commentary on the book of Acts lately, and he has this beautiful part where he talks about the vision that Peter receives of the sheet dropping down from heaven and all the different animals on it, and God says, kill and eat. And essentially saying, there is nothing unclean.
Right.
And then Peter understands that vision in a way, in a limited way. But then what happens next, right, is that Peter goes to Cornelius' house, this Gentile centurion who's outside of the Jewish faith entirely. And then the Holy Spirit comes on the Gentiles, which is just not at all where I think Peter and his fellow Jews thought that story was headed. It wasn't. Like the Gentiles too?
Them too? The church has always had folks that it's kept on the margins in a variety of different contexts, a variety of different historic contexts. There's always somebody on the margins. And every time we address the issue of how do we reach out to and include and affirm folks who are different than we are, we always find somebody else, right, to keep on the margins. So I think there's still a lot of work to be done, but I'm very proud that the Episcopal Church as a denomination has finally come around to a place of affirmation and inclusion of queer folk.